Many thanks indeed, Michelle Mwangi. And of course, that story acts as a segue to, of course, our interview with the CS of Petroleum and, of course, Energy. This is the CS Opiyo Wandayi. Thank you for joining us this evening. Really do appreciate it. And it's a while since I saw you as well.
Yeah, it's nice meeting you at the bar after a long time.
A long time indeed.
Very long time indeed.
Right, let's just jump into it because I know you're in a tearing rush, and I just want to get some of the issues that have been bedeviling the country as we can see it right now. We begin with that story where we can see now the Nya Uganda, they call her, Nya Uganda. She's succumbed because of the vagaries of politics. I know you've been doggedly following what is happening in the country right now. Before we even get to your docket and discuss the issue of energy, I'll be remiss if I don't really ask you about this. What is your assessment right now from your own, accurate appraisement of what is happening, especially politically?
Let me say this, Deba, without really mincing words, that violence has got no place in our politics in this day and age. And as peace-loving Kenyans, as law-abiding Kenyans, it is incumbent upon us to condemn violence in all its forms, regardless of who is the perpetrator. What happened in Homa Bay two days ago is very, very unfortunate. And without taking sides, really, the telltale signs were there. People were beating drums of war from both sides, way before the time of the rally came, okay? And therefore, we must condemn those acts of violence and, of course, demand that those who are found capable be held to account, regardless of which political persuasion they profess. And going forward, really, again, as a country, we must continue to inculcate a spirit of tolerance. Yes, we must allow tolerance to reign. It doesn't make sense why somebody should arm themselves with weapons, crude weapons, while going to a rally. Who are going to fight physically in a rally? But what does it really portend? It doesn't also make sense for one or some people to block roads leading to a venue of a rally. Why do you do so? Okay? We are in an open marketplace. It's a marketplace of ideas. Let whoever has got ideas air them out. And then ultimately people will decide. As I've said before, the people in that part of the country, and I come from that part of the country. Yes, and I'm also a leader. Yes, of long standing, by the way. The people from that part of the country, due to historical reasons, have more or less decided that they are going to vote for President William Ruto for his second term. I can tell you. And inshallah, if God grants me good health, next year you can invite me here, same time. I'll confirm to you. So this hulabaloo is not necessary. But just going at what the spectre is, looking at just Homa Bay, you can't really confirm what you're really saying. Collectively, it seems there is a chasm between who is supporting Ruto and who is supporting the Linda Mwananchi faction as it is right now. I have said, and I have chosen my words very carefully, that the majority, the vast majority of the people from that region, and for historical reasons, because there are people who have suffered marginalization in this country for far too long. There are people who have seen governments come and go, and they have got the capacity to decide for themselves which government is genuinely supportive of their welfare and which one is not. Okay? They have made their own assessment, and I interact with them every day. Okay? So whoever comes there to try to sell their ideas should be allowed to just do so. Let them be allowed to come, sell their ideas, sell their parties. Some don't even have parties, by the way. Yes. Let them be allowed to roam freely and talk to the people. Okay. Ultimately, the people, we are going to make a decision. All right. Ballot. Yes. Okay, you as a lawyer, I know also the Law Society of Kenya has ordered a review of the public remarks attributed to, first of all, Mukurweini, Member of Parliament, Kagushia, and also now Homa Bay Town MP, Peter Kaluma, right? To establish whether they are, what they say they amount to professional misconduct, as it were. From your own assessment,
And this is what I wanted just to ask quickly, because there has been sort of people, the political parties are saying unfair sort of arrests. First of all, there was quick off the mark arrest from government when Kagusha made some inflammatory remarks. But up to now, Peter Kaluma has not been arrested.
I don't want to be a judge because I don't have the full details of the facts. You know, as a lawyer again, you must be able to have facts for you to make a determination. So that is not within my purview. Yes, I believe strongly that you have got working institutions in this country, including law enforcement agencies.
Isn't this a preferential treatment, that one side of the divide is, being castigated and maybe arrested even very quickly? On the other side of the divide, there's a glacial slowness.
Well, that is, of course, left to conjecture, because it is a speculative, because you don't know even as you speak what those law enforcement agencies are doing with regard to the latest happening in Homa Bay. I'm even hearing that some people have already been taken to court. So let us not rush into making conclusions. Let's give the law enforcement agencies time. Let them be given time to do what they're supposed to do under the Constitution, under the law. Okay? In the fullness of time, we must appreciate that this country is governed by the rule of law. Yes, and there is no single person who is above the law. No single person. And we must, as a country, guard jealously, yes, the gains we have made, the democratic gains we have made as a country, and collectively so, yes, so that we don't regress. Sanity must prevail, and regardless of the stature of those who are involved in these heinous activities, if they are found culpable, they must be held to account, so that we develop a nurture country which is responsible, which is admirable, as it is currently. Kenya is highly admirable in the community of nations. You see, our flag is flying high up there. Yes.
Okay.
So we don't want anybody else to get involved in activities
Fantastic.
that tarnish our good name.
Right. I'll be remiss also if I don't ask you about matters of electricity just a bit, because Kenyans will have now to dig deeper into their pockets to light up their homes and businesses after Energy and Petroleum and Regulatory Authority announced the 3 electricity tariff adjustments, amounting to 4.7 shillings per kilowatt for August meter readings. We just wanted to know why is it spiking up right now?
Well, if you recall, about 2 or so months ago,
yes,
I did address the media. And I did communicate to the country, the whole country, that we as government had persuaded Kenya Power, okay? Kenya Power,
yes, to
suspend any possible review of the base tariff of electricity, okay? Which review, if it had gone on, would have perhaps ended up in increased tariff or prices of electricity.
Yes.
We did that conscious of the fact that as a government we have got a primary responsibility to cushion the public against any possible shocks. And this was happening against the backdrop of the raging crisis in the Middle East, which has brought probably turbulence in the oil market. Okay? And for that reason, the base tariff of electricity has not changed and will not change for the foreseeable future. What you are calling increased rates is basically pass-through costs that happen every other month. EPRA is mandated by law to evaluate the cost of generating power from, you know very well, fuel. But okay?
Yes.
There's also the issue of the forex fluctuation, and there's also the issue of inflation. So those components oscillate. They change from time to time. This month it could be increased. Next month it could come down. So it is not the main component. It's not even.
But I wanted just to ask you, because just briefly, you said you remember the electricity market bulk supply and open access. so that we may also take, the monopoly away from Kenya Power and liberalize this market.
Yes.
Because there was that particular regulation that was to be enforced early this year. You had promised yourself as a CS.
Debal,
but
I wish I had enough time.
Yes.
Under
wanted to...
under subsidiary legislation process. Okay? Because the regulations are subsidiary legislations.
Yes.
Okay? I, as the Cabinet Secretary, I publish regulations. But upon publishing the regulations, they are submitted to Parliament. Okay? And Parliament, of course, the Speaker, of course, subjects them to the Committee on Delegated Legislation, which then processes them in the normal way. So I did publish the regulations. They are currently before Parliament, and Parliament in its own wisdom will deal with them one way or the other. And once they eventually become part and parcel of our law, they will be implemented. And that will create an open space for many players to come into force.
Which will bring down the cost of
it will have the effect of bringing competitiveness, let me say so. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Let me just release you, because I know you're in a tearing rush.
Thank you, my brother.
More time,
and I'm happy
to discuss, your docket more deeply when we, of course, invite you.
I hope to get more time in future to come and discuss with you in depth.
Fantastic.
The fantastic things happening in the energy and petroleum sector. Remember, for the first time, as a parting shot.
Yes.
For the first time, remember the oil was discovered in Turkana in 14 years ago. 2012 to be exact.
Yes.
For the first time, we are moving that project from just discovery to commercial production. I'm the first Cabinet Secretary to approve the what we call the contract. Okay? For this project to move to the next stage. Okay? And that is going to be very, very significant, because we envisage that before the end of this year, oil will be flowing from Turkana, crude oil, as we move to a more advanced economy, and as we advance steadily to the first world, as dreamt by none other than His Excellency the President.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time this evening. All right. We've been speaking to, of course, the Cabinet Secretary. Right. This is just passing, of course, across my camera there. This is the beauty of live TV. This is CS Opiyo Wandayi speaking to us on the state of affairs as far as energy and petroleum is concerned, and as well as the political landscape that now is infiltrated with Gonism, as we saw it in Homa Bay.